Hey there everyone, and welcome back to more Copy Kitty. Before we go to endless mode, I'm gonna show a few more things before we actually take it on. First and foremost, if the thing would stop doing stupid, we're going to do the freakish experiment on hard because the music on that is actually different, which I didn't show yet. So we're going to do that, and I'm just going to stop commentating so you can listen to it. Yeah, as if this boss couldn't get any freakier, it did anyway. So yeah, that boss was a thing. He became such more of a thing now. Anyway, now we're going to the database because, well, we have new enemies to show now. So we're just going to do that. Okay, first off we got this guy. Pockhealth. A design flaw stops these sheep from unleashing their full potential until the protective layer of love-like material is removed. Even when this happens, they're still not all that threatening though. Well, no, not really, because I never lost against one. Neville. These freaky little things possess multiple cores, allowing individual pieces of them to function in some capacity even after being broken up. Sometimes a damaged Neville can even be more trouble than a healthy Neville. And I killed quite a lot of them, probably because I make custom levels with it and whatnot. Now these Desaros, yeah, I'm not gonna read that because I already did, and I won against quite a lot of them. But the beta version basically jumps higher, and the green one, when it gets to the peak of its jump, it will shoot lightning vertically. You can actually with both the Delta and Gamma version, if you hit the Desaro before it gets to the peak of its jump, it will just cancel out its attack altogether. So they're still supposed to be minor enemies, of course. Now, here we got an alpha version of the Gyaratar, which is the Boom Gyaratar, and then we got the Foreign Gyaratar. When these Gyaratar's absorb enough energy from an antenna, they spontaneously germinate into quite the prickly little nightmare. To make matters worse, they can even osmose energy from attacks directed at them in order to do this. Yeah, those guys are pretty scary. And now we got this thing. This muscle-bound construct is actually a configurable body called a Nazster. Yolomachi is just a nickname for this particular kind, which is patterned after Yolomo's designs and abilities. There are other massively buff constructs out there, such as the Great X-Chick Lobberer, which I don't know if that enemy is going to be actually in the game. I know there's going to be an XGK, which you saw in the normal mode ending, and it was not called that name unless they wanted to change it. Either way, if that name won't be changed, I'm not gonna spoil it unless you want to look it up yourself. Philic. For an evil construct, the Philic looks kind of cute. Unfortunately, that's what they want you to think. Designed for both terrestrial and aquatic combat, these tricky creatures use their non-threatening appearance to help you sneak up on you. They spray you with water. Look how cute they are. The only animation that they don't do here is that if they see you, they go like and then they jump in the lava or the water. I don't even know if the alpha version even take damage from lava. I assume they do. Since the lava, well, I don't know, the beta version doesn't take damage from water. What is next? Yeah, there is actually an extremely big version of, you know, this guy. Yet, it's not in here. Well, maybe because it's too big. Gee, I never lost to that guy. I wonder why. Dangrax. This high-powered battle construct originally started out as an upgrade to the Inensi. It has a sturdy armor, carapace, and a myriad of devastating attack methods. It can also fly for short periods. And its legs are threads, ensure that it can travel across any type of terrain. Except the sky, of course. Well, even then, you will probably hang in on the bottom of the screen anyway, so whatever. Kind of scary considering this thing was a bug, and now it's this thing. Anyway, Seeker Arsenef. Boki may possibly be the best copycat around, but as Seven has shown, she's not the only one out there. Seeker Arsenefs can channel the energy left behind by fallen constructs to mimic their attacks. And they do a pretty decent job of it too. I don't know why these guys are in the database are using attacks from the X-Gel or the Olzefs. I don't know if that's a glitch in the database or something, because when you play levels they definitely don't do this. So maybe I should ask that, why that is. Harvester Arsenef. Every antenna radiates a certain amount of spiritual energy. Even when their powers are not in use, while usually unnoticeable, Harvester Arsenefs can detect this energy and feed off of it to become stronger. At full power they can inflict catastrophic damage directly to their target's life energy. So yeah, basically, if they get near you for too long, they turn into a Grim Reaper of death. Nevwatz. Designed by the Cyrus to transport troops and supplies over short distances to where they are needed. After becoming frequent targets for enemy fire, later models started using powerful lightning strikes to deter opponents from attempting anti-air attacks. Anti-air. Right. I think that was it. I mean, yeah, some of these bosses do have, like, sub-names to them, but that's it. Also, real quick here in the Arakan fight, I just want to show that if you shoot him before you actually get a sword, you can now you will actually say something about it. You wish to fight with your own two hands? Be warned, for I shall still not hold nothing back. Well, that was one. Yeah, if you try to get all the dialogue in one go, it kind of won't let you for some reason. You wish to fight with your own 2 feet? Well, yes, actually. And the third piece is just jumping on him. You mature little creature. I'm not a trampoline. Yes, you are. And if you hit him more than 3 times, 4, 5, 6. Okay, apparently you just have to do some damage or something. I'm tired of this. I have no reason to fight fairly with you. I'll make you pay for your insolence. And well, if you do that, you're basically screwed because, well, you have nothing except your puny little Boki beam. Anyway, back to something else. Okay, well, the third thing I wanted to show, which isn't as much of a thing I could show, but I don't think I ever, like, showed the other stats screen, which just has some little funny things about what you achieved and whatnot, how many enemies you killed and whatnot. I gave, like, what, 500 million HP of damage. Yeah, that's a lot of freaking damage. and I shot more than 1,000,000 times. I killed more than 100,000 things. I blocked quite a lot of shots actually. Perfect guards. Highest multiplier 10.5 times, okay. The sandwich is like, I have no idea what it's even for. Like, the only thing that I could imagine is if those giant pillars in endless mode in the factory area squish you. But that definitely did not happen 99 times. Oh, and by the way, I also caused more than 400,000 explosions. It's a mystery. Weapon stats, I don't really care about showing that. I don't think I ever did though, but I think you can see that for yourself because it's complicated enough. Last thing is the modifiers, because there's actually one little new thing that is here that's very shiny. Now, there are actually two modifier combinations that I never showed. I was planning on showing them in this version, but because the replay is broken, my intentions on showing it is kind of not worth it, especially for one of the two. So I'm just gonna wait until version 1.6 comes out, which should be very soon, so I can just show it then. Anyway, very shiny triples, all sparkles. Warning, may cause slowdown. Oh well, yes, it will cause slowdown when the ending animation comes. The ending, you defeated all targets stuff. Also, on a boss it looks pretty shiny, and whoa, dude, you are very shiny. Yes, I did not test this modifier on this particular level, so you are very shiny. Did you get an upgrade or something? I mean, it might just be your jetpack that's like shining so much, but dude, you need to stop that. I don't even want to know what your Omega version looks like with that. And my frames dropped to like 30 to 40. Also, apparently there's so many sparkles that the sparkles don't even disappear, and Boki's victory animation cannot be seen. I think you're better off not being very shiny, because then you can see Boki's awesomeness, so you know what, let's not deal with that. So we are just going to turn it off, even though it's kind of pointless, because I will turn off the game anyway. Because now we're going for endless mode, which, as I said, I recorded in advance, so I'm basically just going to replay the whole video of me actually going through it and then just commentate over whatever is interesting. So see you guys in just a minute. Alright, and so here we are in endless mode, and I'm actually not playing this time because I'm just putting commentary over a video that I'm watching while you're watching it at the same time. It's weird. It's like videoception or something. Now, the only like general thing that they changed in endless mode that you're seeing right here is that the generator that creates land, like what can be destroyed and whatnot. You can actually now see when it's going to change where. Like, you can see a dark part of the background and a light place. So yeah, the point between the dark and the light spot is basically where it's changing. And what the hell, we might as well just watch me destroy this mini boss. I don't know if I ever showed this, but if you just dive kick him into the ground, he cannot do shit, because you just drill him into the ground and you just do that. Yeah, that's sad. Anyway, let's now actually cut over to when we're actually going to fight a new mini-boss to this version. Alright, over here we are about to fight another mini-boss, which is the Charged Desaro Delta. It's basically like the Gamma version, except that when it gets to the peak of its jump, it will shoot lightning like 8 different directions, or like 9. I think it's 8 though, but I can't really tell. And further, if you're close to him, its little discharge-like explosion will still hit you, because it also kind of creates an explosion, and then it just leaves the lightning that goes everywhere just behind. And yeah, that's that boss. It's still a minor enemy. And so we'll just go onward to the next mini boss. Alright, over here at wave 40, even though it doesn't really matter which wave it is, I think, we are going to fight Nebel Delta, which is like the Gamma version, except that it will shoot a lot more rings. Well, it will still shoot 2 rings, but they will ricochet a lot more. But the thing is, when it splits, its explosion will actually get rid of all those projectiles. And that also counts for each part that explodes. So basically each time you deplete 1 health bar, you will just get rid of all the projectiles, which makes this boss not too bad actually. I mean, it's still kind of tricky, but it's not like a threat. Of course it gives a bunch of points too. You know, especially because you have 3 targets. And I still like this music. I don't know, I just like it. It's definitely my most favorite main song, I guess I should say. Because, you know, you also have sub-versions of those songs with like different instruments in it or whatever. Anyway, let's just cut over to the next mini-boss or whatever. Well, actually, aside from the mini-bosses, I don't think I said this already, but aside from the mini-bosses, there's also, like, well, one completely new area that they put in, but also one new mechanic that is just like the clocks. It's extremely rare, and I think in this version, the clocks are more likely to appear than the new mechanic I'm speaking of. Of course, I'm not gonna spoil it until you see it. But in this particular run, I never found it, so from what I've heard, it starts appearing at wave 70, so if you want to just see it, you have to start at that wave just to see it appear, you know, in the most likely situation. But that will just have to wait for later. Instead, we're just going for the next mini-boss, shall we? Alright, this next mini-boss that we're about to fight is Parabytes Delta. Despite it only has 1 version, it gets a Delta 1 anyway. Anyway, this guy, when you get close to him, it usually should just, you know, shoot out glass just to hurt you. But on top of that, it will also, in this version of the enemy, it will also shoot out plasma shots. And his regular plasma shots are a lot more devastating, actually, as you can see. They're just hitting me all over the place as things go crazy. But it's still not it's not too terribly bad, but it can be kind of tricky. Oh, and here is actually the new area that they put in Endless Mode, which they call Nebula, or you might as well just refer it as Space. And I still think that this background is just the best one out of all of them. Now, this one, just like the sky, the environment, this one does not have any ground, like no floor. But what the catch of this one is that it loops vertically. Now, I have experienced some weird stuff happen in this place while being in this area. Not the dive kick, but if you're like stuck in a loop like that, you can still get out of it, so don't worry. But sometimes if you like loop the screen over and over again, it causes like bokeh shots to just glitch out. And sometimes enemies can also do weird things. You might have seen it already. Also, here I'm pausing the screen because I got a lot of frame skip, so I needed to stop recording when I did. Because of course, I'm pretty much just doing this sort of post-commentary. Yeah, apparently I don't know the difference. I've actually never done co-commentary on a video before. So I'm just gonna, I'm just gonna show this because this is all new and whatnot. Also, you know what, we might as well just kick spam and just see. You see that right there? I don't think that was supposed to happen. Like, an explosion went and then from the top of the screen there was another explosion there. I mean, when I saw that I was like, what? Well, if Ezra sees this video, maybe... Well, yeah, and there it happens again. It's like, okay, you shoot something to the bottom of the screen and then it just spreads out from the bottom of the screen and just does weird... It looks pretty though, but at the same time, it totally doesn't look like that's supposed to happen. No, I actually did not show this, but the buzzsaw roll got a huge upgrade. In the sense that if you use it, you go a lot faster. And what you can also do with it is actually go just buzzsaw through the ground. And that's actually something that I was like, huh, the buzzsaw, it's a buzzsaw roll, yet you can go through ground with it. And I actually never mentioned it to anyone, except to myself. And yet she thought to do it this way. So, yay on that, I'm happy about that. Also, I got the most broken weapon combination there is. Because it pretty much one-shots every minor enemy. Even though it gets weaker if you use it too much. I don't know if you know that, but sometimes when it comes to like using weapons, they get weaker over time. And look at me going vertical. Vertical motion all over the screen. So here we're just going to see me beat content adults, and that will then I'll probably just go to the next mini boss because, well, I think 5 waves of just showing this area is enough. And considering, like, looking at how glitchy it looks and yet at the same time pretty, I think we've seen enough of it. And look at me take damage as I fall. Alright, so next to the something mini boss. By the way, I think these Shadow XGKs got a buff because they shoot a lot more than they did in previous versions. I can just tell, I swear. Okay, enough rambling, next mini boss, go. Now, this right here is actually not a mini boss, but I'm showing this anyway because here is actually where I'm going to get a weapon that I actually have never showed. I don't know if I had any opportunities to do so in mission mode, and if not, well, you're going to see it here anyway. This Seeker or Sinef that you see right here, it can actually drop a different weapon, which is called the Harvester. And as you can see from that first attack, it breaks stuff apart. It's kind of like the one of the Ulzev's weapons, and it's probably just about as good. The only downside, I guess, to this thing is that you can only attack with it for you can only forward attack. You cannot like look up and then just slash upwards or something. You can't do that. As you might have seen, I tried to do that, but it didn't work. So yeah. Boom. So yeah, anyway, I don't know if I actually don't remember if wave 80 is one of the bosses that I needed to show, but just in case, I'm just gonna keep commentating just for the sake of being sure that, you know, it's actually a mini boss that I need to show. Well, technically I don't have to, but you know, whatever. We've got a lot of snowmen around here. Well, I just typhooned them to death. Here you can actually also see Typhoon does actually mix with Freeze. Okay, is this one of the new ones? No, it is not. Okay, well then that waiting was just a waste of time. Let's get out of here. Oh, well, actually not, because here you can see that if you have the freeze weapon temporarily, it breaks this boss. As you can see, it hardly gets the chance to do anything. I don't even think it hit me once. Or at least that boss did not. Well, it's not frozen anymore, but it's about to die anyway. Oof. Dead. Alright, next. Ah, so many clocks! Yeah, this mini-boss is going to be kind of bad, because as interesting as the clocks are, they are also ridiculously hard to control. As you're going to see here, I'm going to fight Battery Hogal Delta. Now they're it's basically just like the rabbit and Grinning Hogal Delta, but I have to say, it probably is just me, but I think that all of these three enemies, well, actually not this one in particular, but these spawning things, these things that spawn enemies, they got a lot less health. And it might be just me. Also, I'm getting my ass kicked here by not even the boss, but instead those Heat Yolomo Gammas instead. It's kind of weird. And so I pretty much had to kick spam the boss to actually win, because I didn't have any weapons left except the Boki beam, so yeah. And so we'll just move on to the next mini boss. Well, are there actually any more mini bosses? I might be wrong, but I think when you're like past wave 90, you might have actually seen all the mini bosses already. Either that or 95. Okay, so yeah, in wave 95 you're going to see the last mini boss. So if you want to go through, if you want to have a run where you're going to see all the mini bosses in one go, you have to get here to wave 95, which is quite hard. Also, if you manage to get to wave 100 in one go, you know, starting from wave 1, you'll also get the achievement Immortal, which I kind of forgot what you actually get from it, because it just has been so long, like probably like 10 months ago by now, maybe 11, 12, but yeah, after that, just like before, if you see a mini boss that you have already seen in that run, you're just going to see that they have more health. So yeah, this run is basically about to end. I'll just show when I actually die, just to show how far I actually got. I did actually break my high score record. Alright, so here I'm about to die at this boss. And considering how far I actually got, this is basically, I don't know if you saw it, but I'm at wave 110. And just saying, if you actually break your high score record, it will be in yellow, as you can see. It wasn't yellow before. And then this guy, this Harvester Orsinef, is going to screw me. It doesn't do much damage, but it tries to scare you a lot. Now, honestly, I did pretty stupid here. I should have just kick spammed the boss instead of hanging around with this guy while he is still firing at me. Because if the XGK Delta is far away from you, he will do that, and I died there. So yeah, that didn't go so well. Also, apparently it bothers to put in alpha in the Harvester or Snap name, even though there's only one thing of it. There will definitely be a Delta version, I can just tell. Also, yeah, that's my final score, 370,497. Try to beat that. Well, survival time, about an hour, around. And the other two stats are not really that interesting, because they should be around that number. Just because of how it is designed. Well, except the damage taken, of course, that's just my fault. And here we're going to see the last gimmick, these circling things. Now, just take a look at what my weapons are doing. Yeah, you might as well just call this the random weapon generator of death, because it just completely screws with your weapons and you can just go nuts with everything. You can just go ape shit. And if you go out of the area, if you go out of that area where this stuff will happen, your weapons will just become normal. So if you had like the cavitation cannon before, like I did, and you go out of it, you'll just have it again. But the ammo will basically be consumed for a different weapon. So yeah, that was kind of weird. Also, when you have a singular weapon, I was sure this wasn't intended, but then the C weapon is also the same thing, which doesn't make sense, of course. Unless they wanted to make it more convenient that way. So, and that will just be everything that I will show for version 1.5. Next time we're going to do version 1.6, which I expect to be within a month or two. So, yeah, and well, those two little modifier combinations I'll show then also. And for the rest it will probably all be new. And probably have also a lot more awesomeness. So I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll also see you again next time. So, bye bye. Wow, you quit without even doing anything. Did you open this game by accidentally or something? Well, yes, I just wanted to end this video just by going into this game, because I played endless mode, not really, because I just commentated over that, but good thing you mentioned that, 7. Yeah, I really appreciate that.